As the Nemesis limped toward a nearby station for repairs, the Council convened once more, this time not as rulers, but as reluctant partners. The speaker, pale but resolute, addressed the assembly. "We stand at a crossroads, the galaxy's. Future depends on unity. Earth's rise from myth to power is our beacon." Murmurs of assent filled the chamber, tentative but hopeful. Zara stepped forward, voice carrying the weight of her people's legacy. "We have survived centuries of exile, betrayal, and war. Now we will build a future not ruled by fear, but by strength and cooperation." A chorus of voices rose in agreement. The ancient divisions began to blur beneath the shared resolve. Outside, the stars shone with quiet brilliance, a promise of renewal and the endless possibilities of the cosmos. But in the shadows beyond, known space, dark forces stirred, waiting for their moment to return. The true war was just beginning. The fragile peace that had settled over the galaxy was brittle, like glass threaded with cracks. Commander Zara Kellen knew it well. Victory was never final, only a breath between storms. The Nemesis lay in orbit around the repair station, its hull scarred but its spirit unbroken. Inside, crew members moved with quiet urgency, patching systems, recalibrating weapons, preparing for whatever came next. Zara stood apart, staring into the endless black beyond the viewport. Her thoughts were a storm of memories and strategy, pain and hope. The battle had exposed hidden threats, fractured old alliances, and forced enemies to reconsider their fears. Lieutenant Jarek approached, his expression grave. "Commander, new intelligence from Mara's fleet. The enemy is rallying, gathering strength in the outer rim." Zara's jaw clenched. "Then we cannot wait. We strike at the heart of their resurgence before they can rebuild." The council's speaker entered, his presence subdued but resolute. "We must act decisively. Our survival depends on it." Zara nodded. "Agreed. But this will be unlike any fight before. They wield shadows that twist reality. We must be prepared to face nightmares made flesh." Plans were drawn, fleets assembled, and warriors readied. The alliance between Earth and the Council had grown from uneasy cooperation to shared purpose. As ships launched into the star-streaked void, Zara felt the weight of command settle heavier than ever. The galaxy watched, waiting to see if humanity would lead them through darkness or fall with the legends of old. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath as the final battle loomed, a cosmic crescendo echoing across light years of forgotten history and shattered dreams. Commander Zara Kellen stood on the bridge of Nemesis, the weight of countless souls pressing upon her with fierce clarity. Around her, the combined fleets of Earth and the Council pulsed with readiness, a fragile but burning hope against the encroaching darkness. The enemy had gathered forces beyond reckoning, shadows twisting space, ancient powers awakened by the shattering of seals thought eternal. "Sensors report the enemy flagship emerging from the rift," Lieutenant Jarek announced, voice tight. With urgency, Zara's eyes locked on the viewport, where a titanic shape tore through the fabric of space, a vessel not forged by any known hand, alive with writhing energy and endless menace. The Harbinger's remnants had given way to something far worse. "This is it," Zara said, voice calm but resolute. "The final reckoning." The battle began with a roar that defied silence. Energy surged, fleets collided, and the void erupted in light and shadow. The enemy bent space around them, warping reality, twisting time in dangerous folds. But humanity's response was unyielding. Strategic brilliance honed in exile, fierce courage born from centuries of survival. Zara led the charge, piloting Nemesis through the maelstrom with lethal precision. Her commands were sharp, her mind a blade slicing through chaos. Every maneuver, every strike was a testament to humanity's indomitable spirit. Amid the carnage, the ancient enemy unleashed their greatest weapon, an overwhelming wave of quantum. Disruption meant to unravel the very fabric of existence. Shields flickered, systems screamed. For a moment, hope faltered, but then, from deep within Nemesis, a countermeasure surged, an ancient human technology designed to bind reality, to seal rifts with unwavering force. Zara's voice cut through the turmoil. "Deploy the quantum. Binders, hold the line." Energy cascaded outward, a radiant wave pushing back against the darkness, stitching space together with fierce determination. The enemy faltered, their shadows retreating as the seals reforged themselves. The tide shifted with one final assault. Zara and her allies shattered the enemy flagship, its essence dissipating into the void like a fading nightmare. Silence fell. The fleets held position, breaths collectively bated. The galaxy had survived. In the aftermath, the Council and Earth stood united not as rulers and subjects, but as guardians of a new era, one forged from trials, loss, and the fiery spirit of a species once written off as legend. Zara looked out at the stars, the endless possibilities stretching before them. "We are more than myths," she whispered. "We are the storm that changes the universe." And as the light of new dawns bathed the galaxy, humanity's true legend was only just beginning. An intense opening reveals a covert meeting on a desolate moon, where alien arrogance meets humanity's cold, calculated patience. As a subtle threat looms, the stage is set for a clash that will shatter galactic complacency. Congratulations. You just declared war on the galaxy's deadliest species. The voice cracked through the cold void of the observation chamber, sharp and unyielding. Outside the armored viewport, the stars shone distant and indifferent. The moon's barren surface stretched, pale and cracked, untouched by life. But here, deep beneath that stillness, the Council of the Panther Dominion gathered, proud, certain, arrogant. Admiral Krylos leaned forward, eyes gleaming with imperial disdain. "Earthlings are nothing but savages, primitive, weak. Our fleets will crush their insolence before their first gun fires." His tone dripped with cosmic condescension, the echo of millennia spent conquering lesser worlds. Watching silently from a shadowed corner, Commander Ilara of Earth's Unified Defense Force remained motionless. Her gaze was steady, unreadable. The room hummed with alien chatter, a chorus of confident voices already scripting Earth's demise. Yet beneath her calm lay a storm. Humans had waited in silence for centuries, observing, learning, preparing. Their apparent weakness was a mask, worn like armor. Ilara's fingers brushed the surface of a small device, a relic, half hidden, humming faintly with power. The faint glow cast strange shadows on her face. She didn't speak. Words were unnecessary. Then the lights dimmed and the chamber was pierced by a single low chime. The countdown began. Krylos' sneer deepened. "Do you think a flicker of fear can freeze us? You will beg for mercy before we finish." Ilara's voice broke the silence, cold as the void outside. "You're not ready for what we buried." The room stilled. The stars outside seemed to dim, and for the first time, the weight of humanity's promise fell like a shadow across the Panther Dominion. The Panther had assumed superiority was unbreakable, but beneath Earth's surface, something ancient and deadly had been awakened, something that no galactic empire dared remember. The war was no longer a threat. It was inevitable. As tension escalates, Earth's secret defenses activate while alien emissaries scramble to understand humanity's hidden power. The silent calm shatters, revealing unexpected technological marvels and primal threats buried deep beneath Earth's surface. The black silence of space shattered with a sharp crackle. A warning beacon pulsed red across the Panther dominions. "Command deck!" Admiral Krylos' eyes narrowed, his confidence faltering as his fleet's sensors blinked with unprecedented anomalies. What is this interference? It's unlike any known signal. In the command center, human analysts monitored quietly from distant orbital stations. Every move was calculated, every response precise. The moment had come. Earth was no longer the isolated backwater they believed it to be. Commander Ilara's voice came steady through secure comms, calm, but with a hint of steel. All units, initiate Phase 1 protocol, engage surface and orbital defense arrays, confirm readiness for global lockdown. Across the solar system, from deep-sea bases to sprawling underground cities, humanity stirred. Energy surges rippled through secret armories and dormant weapon platforms. The Earth itself seemed to pulse, as if awakening from a long sleep. Aboard the Dominion's flagship, the alien commanders exchanged frantic signals. Surface defenses, impossible. Earth's technological output should be minimal. Their satellites should have been disabled long ago. Rakoth's jaw clenched. Then, they have been hiding something. Prepare all vessels for immediate assault. We will burn their world from orbit if we must. But beneath Earth's crust, far from the eyes of the arrogant invaders, something more terrifying stirred. Massive subterranean engines rumbled, ancient machinery awakened by mankind's silent command. High-entropy power cores pulsed with a raw, unpredictable energy, feeding networks of nanosentinels and bioengineered guardians, creatures crafted through centuries of secret experimentation. A low growl echoed through cavernous halls deep beneath the planet's surface. The Deadwalkers, the galaxy's most feared predators, long thought extinct, had been reawakened. Bound to humanity's will, they were hunters without mercy, fast, lethal, and merciless. One of the Deadwalkers, a towering beast of chitin and sinew, stretched its many limbs as infrared sensors flickered across its armored body. It flexed claws, dripping with bioacid. It was the perfect weapon, an apex predator designed to defend its creators at any cost. Back on the Dominion flagship, Rakoth's eyes flicked to the screens. Reports came in of unexpected failures, assault drones disabled mid-flight, reconnaissance. Probes melting under unseen energy pulses. The Earthlings are not what we expected, the Admiral growled. They play a game we don't understand. Ilara's words echoed through the interstellar void. You declared war without knowing the battlefield. The human fleet, long thought, primitive and unarmed, now unveiled new warships, sleek, adaptive vessels with self-repairing hulls and weapon systems powered by dark matter reactors. Their pilots, trained in zero-G combat and guerrilla tactics, were shadows striking with ruthless precision. The Panther scrambled to respond, but every step forward was met with brutal countermeasures. Ships vaporized by plasma torpedoes that bent space. Boarding parties ambushed by cybernetic soldiers with reflexes beyond alien comprehension. And still, the Deadwalkers crept closer to the surface, ready to unleash their fury. The first battle was about to begin. The galaxy had assumed humanity was a mere footnote in its history. That assumption was about to be shattered by fire, fury, and a primal roar that echoed through the void. The Panther Dominion launches a full-scale assault on Earth's defenses, expecting swift victory. Instead, they confront a relentless human, resistance fueled by ancient beasts' cutting-edge tech and an unyielding spirit. As battles rage across land, sea, and space, secrets buried for millennia rise to challenge galactic arrogance and set the stage for a war unlike any before. The cold void surrounding Earth trembled with the echo of war. Admiral Rakoth's flagship, the Vorath, loomed above the blue planet, its dark hull glittering with the cold fire of weapon systems locked and loaded. The Panther Dominion's pride, a symbol of invincibility, now carried the weight of a crushing surprise. The invasion had begun, But this would not be the swift victory their arrogance had promised. "Deploy assault fleets," Rakoth commanded, voice a low growl that vibrated through the command bridge. "Begin orbital bombardment. Flatten their defenses. Leave nothing standing." Below, in the human command center, hidden in the labyrinthine depths of what was once the Nevada desert, Commander Ilara watched the unfolding battle with steely resolve. Her fingers danced over holographic displays, sending orders to orbital stations, underground bunkers, and guerrilla units scattered across the globe. "Prepare the orbital shield generators," she instructed. "Activate the Sentinel network. Mobilize all bioengineered units. We don't just defend Earth, we fight back." Across the planet, humanity was rising. Cities transformed into fortresses. Deserts bloomed with hidden launchers. Oceans stirred with silent fleets of submersible drones. The Earth itself had become a weapon. In orbit, the Dominion fleet's first strike erupted. Massive plasma cannons unleashed hellfire against Earth's orbital shields, sending cascading waves of charged particles racing toward the surface. The sky ignited with streaks of energy as Earth's defenses met them with a thunderous roar. The orbital shield generator, a monumental ring array encircling the planet, glowed blue and pulsed with energy, absorbing and dispersing the deadly plasma. Torrents. The shield flickered under the relentless assault but held. In the shadowed underbelly of the command center, Ilara's voice was calm yet fierce. "Shield stability at 82%. Reinforce sectors 5 through 9. Fire orbital interceptor drones." To intercept, a swarm of sleek black drones zipped forward, moving faster than the eye could track, armed with miniature antimatter disruptors. They swirled like a deadly storm, slicing through incoming missiles and hostile fighters, but the Dominion was prepared. Fighter wings equipped with plasma disruptors tore through the drone swarm, igniting the void with violent bursts of light. The battle was a violent dance of speed, fire, and destruction. Meanwhile, deep underground, the Deadwalkers stirred. In caverns lit by the eerie glow of bioluminescent fungi, the beasts paced restlessly. Each was a terrifying fusion of bioengineering and primal savagery, a predator designed to stalk, hunt, and annihilate anything that threatened their masters. Their leader, known among humans as Karzog, flexed his 6 razor-sharp limbs and tested his bioacid claws on the rocky cavern floor. A low rumble vibrated through the chamber as the Deadwalkers received their orders. They were the planet's silent sentinels, the final shield, and the most feared weapon humanity possessed. One by one, the creatures erupted from subterranean tunnels, breaking the surface with earth-shattering force. They emerged beneath Dominion, landing crafts, crushing armored vehicles, tearing through soldiers with inhuman speed. Screams echoed across Earth's battlefields as the Dominion forces found themselves hunted by monsters their worst nightmares couldn't have predicted. In the skies over Europe, the Dominion's ground forces struggled. A squadron of Panther assault soldiers, decked in shimmering exoskeleton armor, advanced cautiously through ruined cities. Buildings crumbled under orbital bombardments, casting long shadows over the streets below. Suddenly the air shifted, faint tremors in the ground. Before the soldiers could react, a massive Deadwalker burst from the earth behind them. Its claws shattered armor plating, its jaws snapped like thunder. The squadron opened fire, plasma bolts striking the beast's thick hide, but the creature shrugged off the damage and tore through the ranks. It was a nightmare come alive. Lieutenant Ral Zeth, leader of the squad, cursed through his helmet comms. Fall back to extraction point Bravo!" But retreat was chaos. Deadwalkers ambushed from every angle, hidden in rubble, emerging from tunnels, striking with terrifying precision. The Dominion soldiers found themselves fighting on 2 fronts, against a relentless human army and against predators born from Earth's darkest secrets. In orbit, human warships engaged the Dominion's fleet in brutal dogfights. Captain Mia Torres commanded the USS Valkyrie, a state-of-the-art human vessel, its sleek hull shimmering with adaptive camouflage technology. Her eyes burned with fierce determination. "Target their flagship's weapon arrays," she ordered. "Focus fire on dorsal turrets. Prepare for evasive maneuvers." The Valkyrie darted through enemy fire, plasma bolts streaking past with deadly intent. Electronic countermeasures flared, cloaking fields shimmered, and energy weapons ignited in blinding bursts. Torres gritted her teeth as her ship shuddered under a direct hit. "Shields at 65%. Divert all power to forward thrusters. Engage. Tactical overdrive." The crew responded with practiced precision. Turrets pivoted, missiles launched, and the battle raged in a chaotic ballet of destruction. Back on Earth, the tide of battle was turning. Human resistance fighters coordinated strikes across every continent, networks of communication long hidden. From prying alien sensors, synchronized attacks in perfect harmony. Every city was a battleground. Every valley, every mountain pass was fortified with human ingenuity and raw defiance. In South America's dense jungles, guerrilla units harnessed advanced cloaking gear and plasma rifles to outmaneuver Dominion patrols. In the frozen wastes of Siberia, mechanized units deployed ion disruptors and pulse cannons against armored ground forces. The humans were everywhere and nowhere, ghosts in the ruins of their own world. But the war was more than technology and firepower. It was a test of will. On a remote island in the Pacific, Commander Ilara met with her closest advisors in a secure bunker. Holographic maps floated in the air, displaying real-time battle data. "We hold the line for now," she said, "but the Dominion will escalate. They will send reinforcements. We need to prepare for their next move." Her chief scientist, Dr. Kiran Malhotra, nodded gravely. "We've detected unusual activity beneath the polar ice caps," he said. "Ancient facilities buried in the ice, linked to the same power cores that awakened the Deadwalkers." Ilara's eyes darkened. "Then we're not just fighting their fleets. We're fighting the ghosts of Earth's past." The war was no longer just for survival. It was a reckoning. Across the battlefield, the Dominion's arrogance cracked. Rumors spread among their ranks of monstrous creatures that could shrug off plasma fire, of human warships that could vanish and strike without warning. The once unshakable confidence began to erode. Their belief in supremacy shattered by a species they had underestimated for too long. Rakoth paced the bridge of the Vorath, the weight of failure heavy on his shoulders. "They hide power beneath their feet," he muttered, voice low and filled with dread. "How can they have such weapons after centuries of isolation?" His second-in-command, Captain Rethnal, answered sharply, "Because they were waiting for the moment to make us pay." The Admiral's eyes narrowed. "Then we will make sure that moment never comes again. Launch Operation Oblivion. No survivors, no mercy." Yet humanity's defiance only burned brighter. From the ashes of their once peaceful world, a fierce new era was born. A war not just for Earth, but for the future of every star in the galaxy. The battle lines were drawn. The deadliest species in the galaxy had been awakened, and the war for survival had only just begun. The war intensifies as humanity unveils devastating new technology and unleashes ancient Earth horrors. The Panthar Dominion reels from unexpected losses and mounting desperation. Amidst escalating chaos, hidden alliances and betrayals emerge, threatening to reshape the fate of the galaxy. The sky above Earth burned with fire and fury. Explosions tore through the atmosphere, tracer streaks of energy weaving lethal patterns in the thin air. On every continent, humanity stood defiant, their arms raised not in surrender, but in fierce resistance. The Panthar Dominion's forces, once supremely confident, now faced a nightmare that defied their centuries of dominance. Commander Ilara stood atop a rugged cliff on the scorched plains of what used to be the Australian outback. Her gaze swept over the horizon, where the silhouettes of Dominion assault cruisers drifted through the smoky air, their massive guns trained on the last pockets of human resistance. Beside her, Lieutenant Haroun adjusted the settings on a strange device, a blend of ancient engineering and modern tech, known only as the Echo Core. The Echo Core? Haroun asked quietly. Ilara nodded. A relic from before recorded history, recovered from deep within the Mariana Trench. It manipulates gravitational fields, distorts space itself. A weapon that can tear ships apart without a single shot fired. The first test was imminent. As Dominion cruisers advanced, Ilara activated the Echo Core. The device emitted a deep hum, growing louder, shaking the very ground beneath their feet. The space around the enemy vessels warped, a ripple in reality that twisted their hulls and disrupted their systems. Suddenly, one cruiser shuddered violently and exploded in a blinding burst of energy. The other ships faltered, unable to counter the invisible attack. Panic spread through the Dominion ranks. Above, Captain Mia Torres piloted the USS Valkyrie. With precision born of years in combat, her ship danced through enemy fire, weaving around plasma bolts and laser streams. "Target the command ship," Torres ordered, voice taut with urgency. "Disable their communication arrays, cut off their coordination." Missiles streaked forward, striking the Dominion flagship's dorsal antenna with shattering force. On the bridge of the Vorath, alarms blared. Rakoth slammed a fist onto the console. "Damn these humans and their trickery. Send fighters to cover the command ship. Destroy that Valkyrie." Meanwhile, far below the surface, the Deadwalkers prowled with deadly intent. Karzog, the colossal Alpha, led a pack through labyrinthine tunnels carved through rock and ice. The creatures communicated with a symphony of low growls, clicks, and vibrations, a language old as Earth itself. They moved with terrifying grace, stalking Dominion ground forces and sabotaging their supply lines. Their acid claws dissolved. Armored vehicles, their powerful jaws, crushed soldiers without mercy. In a frozen tundra, a battalion of Dominion troops was decimated overnight. Survivors told tales of monsters emerging from the ice, relentless and merciless. The war, however, was not just a clash of weapons. It was a battle of minds. In a secret chamber deep inside Earth's northernmost research station, Dr. Kiran Malhotra examined data streaming in from battlefield sensors. "Commander, the Dominion is preparing a new weapon," he said gravely. "Something designed to erase entire cities from existence." Ilara's expression hardened. "Then we must strike. First, plans were drawn for Operation Firestorm, a coordinated assault to cripple the Dominion's weapon development centers scattered across the solar system. As human and Dominion forces clashed in space, unexpected news arrived from an unlikely source. Ambassador Sila, a representative from the Avir Collective, an ancient alien alliance that had remained neutral, requested an urgent audience with Ilara. In the communications chamber, Sila's holographic form flickered to life. "Commander Ilara," the Avir emissary began, voice smooth but heavy with concern, "the Panthar Dominion's desperation threatens the entire galaxy. Their weapon could destabilize star systems. You must consider an alliance." Ilara's eyes narrowed. "We have survived alone for centuries. Why should we trust outsiders now?" Sila's gaze softened. "Because sometimes survival depends on trusting those you least expect." Back in the Dominion fleet, tensions boiled. Captain Rethnal confronted Admiral Rakoth in the war room. "This war is slipping from our grasp," Rethnal said sharply. "Our losses are mounting. We must rethink our strategy." Rakoth's eyes blazed with fury. "No retreat, no surrender. We will crush humanity beneath our heels or perish trying." His stubborn resolve masked a growing fear of a species that refused to break, that had secrets old as time and strength forged in silence. On Earth's battlefronts, humanity continued to fight with unyielding spirit. Guerrilla fighters used the terrain to their advantage. Jungles, mountains, and ruins became traps. Hidden missile pods and plasma mines tore through Dominion supply lines. In the ruins of a once great city, a squad of human soldiers fought fiercely alongside deadwalkers, their combined fury unstoppable. The lines between technology and primal power blurred. Humans wielded ancient creatures as weapons, their minds linked through neural interfaces. The galaxy had never seen a force like this. As dawn broke over the battlefield, Ilara stood once again, surveying the war-torn landscape. "We fight not just for Earth," she said quietly, "but for every star system the Dominion threatens. This is our reckoning." Behind her, the Earth pulsed with life and fury, technology and beasts intertwined, ready to burn the arrogant invaders from the cosmos. The war was far from over. It was only just beginning. Humanity's war strategy evolves. As new alliances form and hidden threats reveal themselves, the Panthar Dominion faces unexpected resistance, fueled by Earth's unmatched adaptability and the awakening of long-forgotten powers. As battles rage on multiple fronts, the galaxy watches as the balance of power begins to shift dramatically. The war drums echoed louder than ever, pounding across the shattered remnants of Earth's cities and the empty void of space alike. For the Panthar Dominion, every day was a nightmare where their greatest arrogance met an unrelenting, ever-adapting enemy. Commander Ilara stood in the command center, her sharp eyes scanning the ever-changing battle maps. The war was no longer about defense alone. It had become a test of survival on all fronts: space, surface, and deep below the ground. "Communications from the Avar Collective are stable," her aide reported. "They've agreed to provide limited support, tactical advisors, and advanced reconnaissance drones." Ilara nodded, folding her hands. "Their help will be invaluable. The Dominion has underestimated us, and now they will pay." In orbit, the human fleet pushed deeper into Dominion-controlled space. The USS Valkyrie, under Captain Mia Torres, led a squadron toward a heavily fortified Dominion supply depot orbiting Mars. "Intel indicates this station is critical for Dominion reinforcements," Torres said, tightening her grip on the controls. "Destroying it will cripple their ability to sustain this war." The attack was swift and brutal. Plasma cannons roared, missiles streaked through space, and electronic warfare lit up the void with bursts of interference. The Valkyrie and her wingmen weaved through enemy fire, striking hard and fast. But the Dominion fought back with desperation, deploying automated defense turrets and unleashing squadrons of agile fighters. Below the surface of Mars, Earth's most secret project was underway. Dr. Kiran Malhotra monitored a sprawling underground facility known as Project Leviathan. Within vast chambers, massive bioengineered constructs stirred, colossal beasts designed to rival the Deadwalkers in ferocity and strength. "These creatures are humanity's ace," Kiran explained during a strategic briefing. "The Leviathans possess regenerative abilities and can interface with our neural networks. They will be unleashed if the Dominion breaks through our surface defenses." The scientists had spent years crafting these titans, living weapons bound by will and ancient technology. Their awakening signaled the lengths to which humanity would go to survive. On Earth's frozen northern territories, strange phenomena began to appear. Ice cracked, revealing ancient alien ruins buried beneath glaciers, remnants of civilizations long lost to time. From within, powerful energy signatures pulsed, hinting at dormant technologies with the potential to shift the war's balance. Ilara dispatched reconnaissance teams to investigate, knowing that unlocking these secrets could mean salvation or destruction. Meanwhile, the Panthar Dominion's command structure frayed under pressure. Admiral Rakoth faced constant scrutiny from his council. "We are losing ground," one member hissed during a tense meeting. "The humans' weaponry and beasts overwhelm us." Rakoth slammed his fist. "We will not fall. Increase production of the Oblivion weapon. It will burn their world to ash." But whispers of dissent grew louder. Captain Rethnal, once a loyal commander, began questioning the cost of Rakoth's obstinance. Across battle-scarred Earth, human soldiers continued to push back. In the dense jungles of South America, guerrilla units used hit-and-run tactics against Dominion patrols. In frozen wastelands, mechanized units wielded pulse cannons that shattered armored columns. Where the war touched, alliances formed, even among species previously unknown to humanity. The Aver Collective sent advisors to train human forces, sharing advanced tactical knowledge. Together, they crafted strategies that exploited Dominion weaknesses and maximized Earth's unique strengths. The Deadwalkers and Leviathans moved like shadows on the battlefield. In a joint assault near the ruins of an ancient city, human forces, alongside their monstrous allies, overwhelmed a Dominion supply convoy. Kazog, the Alpha Deadwalker, led the charge, tearing through enemy lines with terrifying efficiency. At his side, a newly awakened Leviathan crushed armored vehicles beneath. Its massive limbs, soldiers on both sides fought fiercely, but the tide was turning. Dominion morale faltered as the ferocity and resilience of humanity's forces became undeniable. Despite the mounting losses, Rakoth refused to concede. In the war room of the Vorath, he stared at the holomap, fingers tracing human positions. "They fight with ferocity unmatched," he murmured. "But we will end this. We will bring the Oblivion weapon to bear and erase their hope." Unknown to him, deep within the weapon's core, a fault was growing, caused by sabotage from within his own ranks. Back on Earth, Ilara prepared for the next phase of the conflict. "The Dominion will strike hard," she told her commanders. "We must be ready to counter. Every victory counts. Every sacrifice matters." Her eyes, filled with determination and burden, met those of her closest allies. "This war is not just for Earth's survival," she said quietly, "but for the freedom of all who suffer under the Dominion's shadow." As the galaxy watched, the war that began with arrogance and underestimation evolved into a legend of resistance, cunning, and brutal power. Humanity was no longer the forgotten species of a distant, primitive planet. They were the galaxy's fiercest warriors and the deadliest species yet to be faced. Humanity's resilience is tested as the Dominion escalates its assaults with new, devastating weapons. Amid rising casualties and shifting alliances, hidden betrayals threaten to undermine both sides. Ilara and her commanders must navigate the escalating chaos, uncover ancient mysteries, and prepare for a decisive confrontation that will decide the galaxy's fate. The distant roar of engines filled the skies above the remnants of what was once a thriving metropolis. Smoke curled into the atmosphere as explosions ripped through streets and shattered the fragile peace of battle. Commander Ilara stood at the command center's observation window, eyes fixed on the unfolding chaos. The Dominion's newest weapon, codenamed the Scourge, had arrived, a planet-killing device capable of unleashing seismic devastation in an instant. "This changes everything," Ilara muttered, turning to her staff. "We need to strike fast and strike hard before the Scourge fires." Her voice was calm, but inside a fire burned, a determination forged by countless battles, sacrifices, and the weight of a species' survival. In orbit, Captain Mia Torres maneuvered the USS Valkyrie with deft precision. The space above Earth was a swirling tempest of fire and steel, fleets colliding with brutal force. Engage stealth protocols, she ordered. We need to slip past their defense perimeter undetected. The Valkyrie and her squadron slipped through a dense asteroid belt, cloaked in electromagnetic silence. Their target, the Dominion's control satellite coordinating the Scourge's destructive pulses. Torres gritted her teeth. One shot, one chance. Missiles fired, tearing through the void, striking the satellite's core. It exploded in a dazzling flare, severing the weapon's connection. Below, on Earth's surface, the battle raged in every corner. The Deadwalkers prowled alongside Leviathans, their monstrous forms ripping through Dominion ranks like a tidal wave of destruction. Guerrilla units, armed with advanced weaponry and tactical support from the Avir Collective, launched ambushes, disrupting supply lines and crippling reinforcements. Yet the cost was high. Casualty reports flooded in, the number of human lives, lost mounting with each passing hour. Amid the turmoil, a darker threat emerged. Inside the Dominion's War Council, whispers of treachery stirred. Captain Rethnal, once fiercely loyal, now plotted in the shadows. Secretly contacted by an unknown faction within the Avir Collective, he questioned Rakoth's relentless brutality. His obsession will destroy us all, Rethnal confided to his trusted officers. We must find another way, or perish. The seeds of betrayal were sown, threatening to unravel the Dominion from within. Back on Earth, Dr. Kiran Malhotra decoded a transmission intercepted from the Dominion fleet. Their new weapon is powered by a rare energy source, one we may be able to exploit, he explained during a briefing. Ilara listened intently. Prepare a strike team. We need to capture a sample. The mission was perilous, requiring infiltration deep into enemy-held territory. In the frozen tundra of the far north, a small team of elite operatives set out under cover of darkness. Their target, a Dominion energy extraction facility, guarded by heavily armed troops and automated defenses. Silent as shadows, the operatives moved through icy wastelands, their every step measured and precise. After hours of infiltration, they breached the facility's core, securing samples of the rare energy, a volatile substance capable of destabilizing the Scourge's power. But escape proved deadly. Alarm systems triggered. Dominion forces closed in fast. A fierce firefight erupted amid the frozen ruins. With no choice, the operatives called for emergency extraction. Back on the Vorath, Admiral Rakoth paced furiously. The humans grow bolder, he snarled. We must crush their rebellion before it spreads beyond Earth. Unaware of Rethnal's growing dissent, he doubled down on his plan for Operation Oblivion, a final, devastating strike aimed to annihilate humanity's last strongholds. Ilara knew time was running out. We cannot hold forever, she admitted, during a council meeting. But with every victory, we grow stronger. Her gaze hardened. We will fight in space, on land, and in the depths below. The galaxy will know Earth's name. As the war escalated, ancient mysteries stirred beneath the planet's surface. Powerful artifacts, relics of civilizations long vanished, awakened, resonating with human technology and will. Ilara's team worked tirelessly to harness these forces, blending the old and new in a desperate bid for survival. The stage was set for a final confrontation. The Panthar Dominion, desperate and fractured, prepared to unleash their deadliest weapon. Humanity, fierce and unyielding, stood ready to meet the storm. The galaxy held its breath. With the galaxy teetering on the edge of annihilation, humanity unleashes its full might. Battles rage fiercely on multiple fronts as secrets of ancient Earth technology are revealed. Betrayals shatter alliances and unexpected heroes rise. The war escalates into a brutal fight, not just for survival, but for the soul of the galaxy itself. The endless black sea of space was alive with fury. Starships darted like deadly insects, weaving through barrages of plasma fire and missile storms. The galaxy had become a battlefield where every star system echoed with the thunder of war. Commander Ilara stood on the bridge of the horizon's edge, a colossal warship newly commissioned from Earth's secret shipyards. Its sleek hull shimmered with adaptive camouflage and layered shields, powered by newly uncovered ancient energy sources. She watched the tactical holomap as fleets clashed, a sprawling war front spanning orbit and surface alike. "The Dominion pushes harder than ever," her tactical officer reported. "Our losses are increasing, but so are theirs." Ilara's jaw tightened. "We don't just survive, we dominate. Prepare to deploy Leviathan units in the asteroid belt. We'll trap their fleet between rock and beast." Deep within the asteroid belt, circling the shattered moon of Ganymede, monstrous leviathans slithered between space rocks, their titanic forms powered by biomechanical cores synced to human commands. Their movements were fluid, predatory. To the Dominion fleet caught unawares, the space around them turned into a death trap. The Leviathan's massive limbs crushed ships against floating debris. Energy tendrils lashed out, disabling enemy systems with precision. Captain Mia Torres led a squadron of stealth fighters, darting between these monstrous allies, striking at weakened targets with plasma torpedoes. "Lock onto the Vorath," Torres commanded. "This ends now." Inside the Dominion flagship Vorath, Admiral Rakoth's face was etched with fury and exhaustion. They had underestimated humanity's depths, and now he paid the price. "Deploy emergency shield protocols," he barked. "Target their Leviathans and Valkyrie squadron. Nothing can breach this fortress." But even as the Dominion fought desperately, cracks appeared in their armor, not just physical, but political. Captain Rethnal gathered loyalists in secret, their whispered plots a spiderweb threatening to strangle Rakoth's iron grip. "We cannot continue this blind slaughter," Rethnal warned. "There is more at stake than conquest. If we continue, we will all perish." Meanwhile, on the ground, Earth's battlefield burned with relentless combat. Deadwalkers stalked ruined cities, their razor claws cutting through Dominion armor with terrifying ease. At their backs, human soldiers, armed with plasma rifles, powered exosuits, and ancient biotech implants, fought with unyielding spirit. Lieutenant Harun commanded a squad deep in the ruins of a former megacity. "We hold this position at all costs," he ordered. "Their reinforcements won't break us today." The ground shook as a massive Dominion Titan, a war machine as tall as a building, lumbered forward. Its plasma cannons flared, firing in devastating bursts. Harun's squad scrambled, dodging, fire and launching counterattacks. The battle was desperate, brutal, and raw. Beyond the front lines, Ilara convened with her closest advisors. "We've uncovered something," Dr. Malhotra said grimly. "A hidden vault beneath the Antarctic ice shelf, containing technology far beyond anything the Dominion wields." Ilara's eyes burned with fierce determination. "We must secure it. This could tip the scales." Plans were made for a covert expedition to retrieve the vault's secrets. The expedition team landed amidst blizzards and treacherous ice formations. Their progress was slow, the cold biting, but their resolve unwavering. Deep beneath the ice, ancient doors groaned open, revealing corridors lit by pulsating blue light. Within the vault lay relics of Earth's lost civilizations, advanced energy, cores, weapons of unimaginable power, and cryptic machines humming with dormant life. As the team explored, a sudden tremor shook the vault. Alarms blared. "We're not alone," one scientist whispered. From the shadows, guardians awoke, biomechanical sentinels, ancient protectors programmed to defend the vault at all costs. A fierce battle erupted underground as the expedition fought to secure the technology and escape alive. Back in space, the tide turned. The combined assault of human warships and Leviathans overwhelmed Dominion forces. The flagship Vorath sustained crippling damage. Rakoth faced a final choice: surrender or annihilate everything. He chose the latter. "Activate Oblivion Protocol," he growled. "If we fall, so will Earth." A weapon of unimaginable destruction. Powered up, threatening to unleash a cataclysm across the solar system. Ilara's voice crackled over comms. "This ends now." With precision and fury, human forces launched a coordinated strike, targeting the weapon's core. The underground vault's technology amplified their efforts, disrupting the Oblivion weapon's power source. Explosions rocked. The Vorath. The weapon sputtered and failed. In the chaos, Captain Rethnal's betrayal came to light. He confronted Rakoth on the flagship's bridge. "This war has destroyed us," Rethnal said coldly. "I will end it." The two clashed, a battle of wills and weapons that shook the ship's foundations. Rethnal's coup succeeded. Rakoth was overthrown. With the Dominion fractured, humanity seized the moment. Ilara ordered a full-scale assault on Dominion command structures across the galaxy. Victory was within reach, but the war's cost was staggering. Countless lives lost, worlds scarred beyond repair, and a galaxy forever changed. Amidst the rubble, one truth remained clear. Humanity was no longer the hunted, they were the hunters. The deadliest species the galaxy had ever known. The shattered Dominion reels from internal betrayal, while humanity consolidates gains and prepares for the final campaign. Ancient powers entwine with cutting-edge tech as new threats emerge from forgotten corners of the galaxy. The war reaches a brutal crescendo, testing loyalties and forcing impossible choices. The Dominion fleet lay fractured, its proud banners torn and burning against the cold, starry void. The once mighty empire staggered from within, crippled not just by humanity's ferocity, but by the sting of treason. Captain Rethnal, now commanding the remnants of the Vorath, broadcast a grim decree across Dominion channels. "The old order is broken. We seek ceasefire and negotiation, but many Panthar warlords refuse to yield. Fanatic commanders unleashed scorched earth policies, bombing planets, eradicating entire colonies rather than surrendering. Amid this chaos, humanity's forces expanded their reach beyond Earth's cradle, striking deep into Dominion territory. With newfound allies and devastating technology, Commander Ilara stood on the bridge of the horizon's edge. The galaxy spread before her like a battlefield tapestry. "Prepare for Operation Exodus," she commanded. "We will push into the Dominion's heartworld, break their command and end this war." Around her, advisors debated strategy, weighing the risks of such a bold maneuver. Intelligence reports indicate traps and bioengineered horrors guarding their home systems, warned Dr. Kiran Malhotra. Ilara nodded. "We must be ready for anything. The galaxy's fate rests on our shoulders." Meanwhile, the expedition team that recovered ancient technology from the Antarctic vault continued their research in orbital labs. They deciphered secrets of energy manipulation, weaponized gravity, and sentient machines dormant for eons. This blend of archaic and futuristic knowledge birthed new weapon systems, mass drivers, gravitic mines, and shield disruptors that would cripple Dominion defenses. Yet the discoveries also hinted at darker mysteries, entities beyond human understanding, stirring in the shadows of space. Back on the warfront, Deadwalkers and Leviathans carved swathes through enemy lines. Their primal fury, combined with human tactics, created an unstoppable force. But even as battles raged, whispers of rebellion grew in Dominion outposts. Captain Rethnal's coalition faced assassinations and sabotage from loyalists unwilling to accept change. In a covert meeting, Rethnal's advisors urged caution. "The Dominion's core is too fractured," one warned. "We risk total annihilation if we proceed recklessly." Rethnal's eyes burned with resolve. We either end this now, or we all perish. Amidst this turmoil, a new threat emerged. Unknown to both humans and Panthar, an ancient race, the Veilborn, awoke from their millennia-long slumber. Dwelling in the dark void beyond known space, they watched the war with growing interest. Their emissaries contacted humanity with cryptic messages. The war is but a prelude to the reckoning. Choose wisely, or all will fall. Ilara's council debated the cryptic warnings, unsure whether these newcomers were friends or foes. As Operation Exodus commenced, human fleets penetrated Dominion defenses with precision and ferocity. Orbital bombardments softened enemy fortifications, while ground forces advanced with Leviathan and Deadwalker support. The Dominion's heart-world, a sprawling planet of towering spires and vast mechanized cities, bristled with defenses, yet the combined might of humanity and allies overwhelmed their resistance. Inside the Heartworld's command nexus, the remaining loyalists made a desperate last stand. Admiral Rakoth's fate remained unknown. Some whispered he died in the coup. Others claimed he fled to dark corners of space. The battle was brutal. Ships collided, cities burned, and the screams of warriors echoed across shattered streets. Amid the chaos, Ilara faced impossible choices. Civilian casualties mounted, resources dwindled. The line between victory and devastation blurred. She walked among her troops, sharing their burdens and fears. "This war will end," she promised, voice steady despite the weight she bore. Not just with victory, but with a new hope for the galaxy. The final confrontation neared. Ancient powers, lost technologies, fierce warriors and hardened leaders clashed in a maelstrom of fire and will. The galaxy trembled on the brink, and humanity stood ready, not as victims or pawns, but as the architects of their own destiny. The war reaches a critical turning point as humanity faces its greatest challenges yet. Betrayals fracture alliances, ancient secrets reveal cosmic stakes, and battles become desperate struggles for survival. Commander Ilara and her allies must harness every ounce of strength and cunning to withstand the Dominion's final desperate offensives and the ominous threat of the Veilborn. The skies over the Dominion Heartworld burned crimson, torn apart by blasts from orbital cannons and streaks of plasma fire. Below, streets that once bustled with life were now silent battlegrounds, littered with wreckage and ash. Commander Ilara's fleet had broken through the first line of defenses. But the cost was devastating. "We've lost 20 ships in the last hour," Captain Mia Torres reported over comms, her voice tight with exhaustion. "Enemy reinforcements are pouring in." Ilara gritted her teeth, eyes sharp behind her helmet visor. "Hold formation. Focus fire on the incoming cruisers. We can't let them flank us." In the depths of the shattered city, guerrilla fighters moved like shadows, striking Dominion patrols and disappearing before reinforcements arrived. Lieutenant Haroun led his squad through collapsed tunnels, navigating by instinct and ancient maps. "Keep low and stay sharp," he whispered. "We're close to the communications hub." The hub was critical. Disrupting Dominion communications would isolate their forces and pave the way for the final assault. As they approached, alarms blared. Dominion forces had anticipated the attack. A fierce firefight erupted, echoes bouncing through the ruins. Haroun's squad fought valiantly, but the enemy's numbers overwhelmed them. Just as defeat seemed certain, the ground trembled. From the shadows emerged a Leviathan, its massive limbs crushing enemy soldiers and clearing a path. The squad seized the moment, breaching the hub and disabling the Dominion network. Above ground, in the Dominion's war room, Admiral Rakoth's shadowy presence lingered in the minds of loyalists. Though presumed dead, his doctrine of relentless domination haunted the remaining commanders. Captain Rethnal struggled to hold the fragile coalition together. "Rakoth's legacy threatens to drag us into darkness." Rethnal warned his council, "We must forge a new path." But trust was scarce, and old wounds festered. Meanwhile, the Veil-born emissaries revealed themselves to Ilara in a sudden transmission. Their voices echoed with alien resonance, warning of cosmic consequences should the war continue unchecked. "You wield powers you do not understand," they intoned. "The balance of the universe is at stake." Ilara listened, torn between suspicion and the desperate hope for peace. On the battlefield, human forces faced the Dominion's last desperate offensives. Massive war machines unleashed waves of destruction, tearing through barricades and fortifications. But humanity's spirit did not falter. With every fallen comrade, resolve hardened. The Deadwalkers and Leviathans fought alongside soldiers, turning the tide of brutal street fights. In a hidden laboratory, Dr. Malhotra decoded fragments of an ancient star map found within the Antarctic vault. The map pointed to a distant system believed to hold a dormant superweapon, capable of ending the war in a single strike. Ilara debated the risk. "Do we unleash a power we don't fully understand?" she questioned. Her commanders were divided, but time was running out. As the Dominion forces crumbled, internal betrayals erupted. Rethnal's coalition splintered under pressure, some commanders seizing power through bloodshed. Chaos spread through the Dominion ranks like wildfire. Amid the turmoil, a secret faction attempted to activate a failsafe weapon hidden in the outer rim. Ilara dispatched special forces to intercept. The final battles were cataclysmic. Planets burned. Stars flickered under the strain of massive energy discharges. The war was no longer just a fight for survival. It was a war for the very soul of the galaxy. Ilara stood amidst the chaos, her resolve unwavering. "This is humanity's reckoning," she declared. "We will not be erased." As the dust settled on shattered worlds, one truth remained. The deadliest species had survived the storm and emerged stronger. But the galaxy's future hung in the balance, and the true test was yet to come. The war's climax unleashes devastating consequences. Humanity confronts not only the battered Dominion, but the awakening Veil-born threat. Sacrifices mount, heroes fall, and desperate gambits shape the fate of billions. As ancient powers collide, with cutting-edge technology, the final battle will decide whether the galaxy sinks into chaos or rises anew. The void roared with the fury of battle. Stars shone like distant embers, but around Earth's warships and Dominion vessels, the darkness was torn apart by firestorms of plasma and gravitic weaponry. Commander Ilara stood at the center of the Horizon's Edge command bridge. Her face was pale but resolute, eyes burning with the weight of countless lives lost and those yet to be saved. "Status report," she demanded. Captain Mia Torres, standing at tactical, quickly assessed the battlefield. "Dominion fleet is fractured but still dangerous. Our forces have sustained heavy losses, 20% down in the last engagement." Ilara clenched her fists. "We push forward. The war ends here." Beyond the immediate battle, the Veil-born threat grew. Their enormous dreadnoughts slipped through shadowed space, shimmering with strange energy signatures that defied human understanding. Veil-born emissaries contacted Ilara once again, this time with a stark ultimatum. "Cease hostilities, or the galaxy will fall to oblivion," they warned. Ilara's response was steel and fire. "We will defend what is ours. If you threaten our survival, you will face the consequences." On the ground, battles surged with brutal intensity. Deadwalkers and Leviathans roared through Dominion defenses, tearing apart war machines and scattering. Infantry Lieutenant Haroun led a desperate charge through the crumbling ruins of a once great city. "Hold the line," he shouted. "For Earth! For humanity!" Explosions shook the battlefield as Dominion forces launched one last massive counterattack. In the depths of a secret underground vault, Dr. Kiran Malhotra and his team worked frantically to unlock an ancient weapon system, a relic from a civilization older than recorded history. "This weapon could end the war," Kiran said, voice trembling with urgency, "but its power is unpredictable. If we fail to control it, it could destroy us all." Ilara faced the choice with grim resolve. "We use it," she decided, "for the future." The final assault on the Dominion homeworld began. Human and allied forces bombarded defenses while strike teams infiltrated command centers. Chaos erupted as loyalist factions battled traitors, and the planet's surface became a hellscape of fire and ruin. Rakoth's last loyalists made a desperate stand. Meanwhile, in the heart of space, the Veilborn unleashed their fury. Their dreadnoughts fired weapons that warped reality, tearing holes in space and time. Human fleets struggled. To contain the devastation, Ilara's voice cut through the chaos. "Focus fire on Veilborn command ships. Disrupt their control." The battle was brutal, ships torn apart by forces beyond human comprehension. As the war reached its crescendo, betrayals unfolded. Captain Rethnal's faction clashed with loyalists. In bloody skirmishes, plans were made in shadows, alliances shattered by ambition and fear. In a desperate gamble, Ilara activated the ancient weapon. The ground trembled as immense energy cascaded through the planet's core, radiating outward. In waves, Dominion forces faltered. Veilborn dreadnoughts were caught in the blast, their reality-warping weapons disrupted. Victory was near, but at a terrible cost. As the dust settled, Ilara stood among ruins, battered but unbroken. "The galaxy is free," she whispered. But in the depths of space, unseen eyes watched, silent, patient. The war was over. The next chapter was only beginning. In the aftermath of the galaxy-shaking climax, fragile peace teeters on the edge as old enemies scheme and new threats loom. Humanity begins to rebuild, but faces difficult decisions, painful losses, and uncertain alliances. Ilara and her allies must navigate treacherous political waters and prepare for challenges that may eclipse even war. The war's roar had faded, but its echoes lingered like scars etched across the stars. Commander Ilara stood on the observation deck of the newly commissioned flagship Aegis Ascendant, gazing out at the battered remnants of the Dominion's shattered empire. The stars, once cloaked in smoke and fire, now twinkled faintly in a fragile peace. "Is it truly over?" whispered Lieutenant Harun beside her. Ilara's eyes remained fixed beyond the viewport. "Not yet. Peace is never the end, it's only the beginning." Across the galaxy, fractured Dominion factions struggled to pick up the pieces. Some sought redemption, eager to rebuild and avoid repeating the mistakes of the past. Others lurked in shadows, nursing grudges and plotting revenge. Captain Rethnal emerged as a controversial leader, wielding power with uneasy legitimacy. "Without Rakoth's iron fist, the Dominion is vulnerable," he declared. "We must forge new alliances or be destroyed." His proposals met fierce resistance from traditionalists who viewed humanity as an unforgivable enemy. Meanwhile, new alliances formed. The Avir Collective deepened ties with humanity, sharing technology and knowledge to rebuild war-ravaged worlds. Yet, not all were pleased. Whispers spread of a mysterious faction within the Avir, intent on using the aftermath to expand their own influence. On Earth, reconstruction was a daunting task. Cities lay in ruins, ecosystems disrupted, and populations displaced. But humanity's spirit endured. From the ashes, new technologies rose, blending ancient Earth secrets with modern innovation. Ilara traveled from world to world, inspiring hope and unity. "We have survived the worst," she told crowds of survivors. "Now, we build a future worthy of our sacrifice." Yet shadows crept beneath the surface. In the void beyond known space, the Veilborn remained. Though weakened, their presence was a reminder that cosmic dangers still lurked. Their cryptic messages continued. The reckoning is far from done. Political intrigue simmered in the new Galactic Council. Old rivalries and new ambitions clashed over how to govern the fragile peace. Ilara found herself at the center of these storms, navigating betrayals and forging uneasy compromises. In quiet moments, Ilara reflected on those lost. The weight of command was heavy, but the future depended on strength tempered with wisdom. War tested us, she thought. Peace will test us even more. The galaxy watched, waiting to see if humanity and its allies could rise from the ashes or be consumed by the shadows of the past. As fragile peace settles, humanity stands at a crossroads between hope and uncertainty. Ilara reflects on the costs of war, the promise of unity, and the lurking challenges ahead. The story closes on a powerful note of resilience and determination, setting the stage for a new era where humanity claims its place among the stars. The quiet was almost unnatural. After years of war, after the endless storms of fire and bloodshed, the galaxy had stilled. Commander Ilara stood alone on the observation deck of the Aegis Ascendant, gazing into the vastness of space. Stars shimmered like ancient promises, distant yet enduring. She thought of the millions lost, the world scarred, the battles fought in shadows and light, and yet humanity had endured. The war had changed everything. No longer were humans the forgotten species dismissed as weak or primitive. They had risen, unyielding, fierce, and brilliant. The galaxy now knew their name. Ilara's thoughts drifted to the future. The Veilborn threat had receded, for now, but silence in the void was never safe. She touched the data crystal in her hand, a record of the war, the sacrifices, and the victories. "This is not just a story of survival," she whispered. "It is a story of hope." Across the galaxy, new alliances formed, new worlds opened their doors, yet vigilance remained. The darkness beyond the stars waited patiently. Ilara turned from the viewport and looked to the crew behind her. "We will build a future worthy of those who fought and fell." Her voice was steady, filled with quiet strength. "We will reach for the stars, not as conquerors, but as guardians." The galaxy breathed, ready to begin anew, and humanity, scarred but unbroken, stood ready to lead.